What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Genesis GV70 3.5T Sport Advanced. Huge thank you to Napoleon Ha over at Safford Genesis of Springfield, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular GV70 or any Genesis product, then I'll be sure to have Napoleon's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Genesis GV70 3.5T Sport Advanced, and this particular one's been painted in the $650 Vic Black. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2025, all GV70s now get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. A couple colors have also been added, a couple have been discontinued. However, the big refresh is coming for the 2026 model year. But this particular one being the 3.5T Sport Advanced, as standard, you get LED headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. Now I'm going to take a few steps to the left and give you a front-on shot of the Sport Advanced. You can see you have your Genesis logo located at the center of your hood. Now this one having Sport in the name, you get the Sport appearance. So with that in mind, you get the dark chrome mesh style grille with the dark chrome grille surround. Now located at the center of the grille, you may notice that you get a forward-facing camera, and that is because this particular one's been optioned with the $6,400 Sport Advanced package, which gives you that forward-facing camera that works with your 360-degree view camera system. Now also included in that package are your 6 forward-facing sensors. Now when you come down just a little bit, I know this one's been painted in Vic Black, so it's kind of hard to tell, but anyways, down here you get the satin black lower grille. You also get that gloss black aggressive style grille surround. I love the way that that looks. That really adds to the sporty aesthetic of this thing. Now on the outsides of your front bumper, you also get the satin black outer grilles, both here and here, and I like the stylistic trait that they did, kind of puffing that out just a little bit, make it look just a little bit more aggressive. And you can also see the outer bumper venting there just to redirect air around the outside of the vehicle, which hopefully in turn makes it have better fuel economy, but also a little bit more aerodynamic, which would lead to the better fuel economy. Now, last but not least, I wanted to say that the Sport Advanced gets 7.3 inches of ground clearance. Now, coming on down the side, down here, this piece on the outside lower portion of your front bumper is body color. That leads into your body color wheel arch moldings. Now this one being the Sport Advanced, you get the adaptive suspension with road preview. Basically what road preview does is that it reads the road in front of you, and if it senses a pothole, it's going to loosen the suspension so the suspension goes over that pothole a little bit better than it would if it did not have the road preview. Now again, this one being the Sport Advanced, the Sport trim level is below this, and the Sport gets 19-inch wheels. The Sport Advanced upgrades those 19-inch wheels to 21-inch gray painted wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 255/40 Michelin Primacy Tour all-season tires. I'll give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. There you go. That's what they look like. And then, by the way, you also get rain sensing wipers as standard. But working my way down the side, you get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. Both mirrors are auto dimming. You also get memory function, so not only is the vehicle going to memorize your driver's seat setting and the steering wheel setting, it is also going to memorize the outer mirror settings as well. You get 2 memory seat adjustment settings, so it's nice if you have 2 primary drivers of the vehicle. Last but not least, you also have your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. But because this one's been optioned with the Sport Advanced package, you also get cameras at the bottom of both of your side view mirrors, and those cameras work with your blind spot view system as well as your 360-degree view camera system. And truly, last but not least, you also have your Genesis logo projection right there, which is kind of like a puddle light, but it basically projects the Genesis logo on the ground. Now I'm going to take a few steps back and give you a side profile shot of this thing. Now at the top of the roof line, you get the gloss black roof rails, you get the satin chrome window trim, you get body color door handles with keyless access and the dark chrome accent. So this piece right here is that dark chrome accent. The rest of the door handle is body color. And then at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get the body color door cladding. However, this piece right here is gloss black. And I know, again, with the Vic Black, it's really hard to tell. But anyways, that piece like right there is the gloss black trim piece. I'll show you what it looks like on red. Anyways, also found on your driver's side is your fuel door. You press on that, it will open up. You don't get a capless filler neck. However, premium fuel is recommended. Now closing that back up top here, you have your body color shark fin antenna. You also have your body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light that spans the entire length of the roof spoiler. I think that's pretty cool. You also get a rear window defroster, your rear wiper, and LED taillights come standard. Now I'm going to take a step back, give you a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. This is kind of like a coupe SUV. You can see that with that design language right there, that sloping roof design. Pretty sweet. Makes it look very sporty and kind of like BMW X4, BMW X6-ish. You know what I'm saying? And then taking a few steps to the right, here's a little booty shot. You can see you get your chrome badging back here. You also get a hands-free power liftgate. And in order to open up the hands-free power liftgate, you push this button right here and the liftgate will begin to open up. That's the speed in which the liftgate opens up. Now I'm going to throw the pricing of all the accessories on screen right now, but essentially this is your first aid kit. You also get the, I believe this is the roof rack or the roof crossbars. Whatever, there's also a cargo cover. Anyways, taking a look at what we got going on in here. If you wanted to drop your second row seats for a little bit more storage space, because, you know, really from the trunk opening to the back of those seats, I would say you probably get maybe like 3.5 feet of storage space, followed by, you know, 3.5 feet this way as well. So honestly, pretty decent amount of storage space, kind of vertically limited due to that sloping roof design. But if you need a little bit more storage space, you have a door handle looking thing here. You also have one on that side as well. So if you pull on that, that is going to drop your second row seats, and then you get an additional about 3.5 feet of storage space with those second row seats down. Now, found on the passenger side of your trunk area, you get a little nook here with a cargo net. So you could set maybe a couple gloves or something like that down in there. Not the biggest amount of storage space, but you can set something in there that you don't want flopping around the trunk. You also get a 12-volt power outlet here, followed by an LED light on both sides. And if you lift it up on this, and you really lift it up, anyway, there is a spare tire underneath here, which is definitely nice to see, because it seems like a lot of new vehicles no longer come with a spare tire. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the trunk area. Then you have these two buttons right here. That is to close the liftgate, that is to lock the vehicle. All I want to do right now is close the liftgate, so the liftgate will begin to close. Now here at the rear, you also get 6 parking sensors. You also get that satin black rear valance, which is what this area is right here. As you may be able to tell, you get a dual exhaust system, and the 3.5T Sport Advance gets a max tow capacity of 3,500 pounds. So not the most capable SUV when it comes to towing, but you know, if you got a couple jet skis, small boat, four-wheeler, side-by-side, utility trailer, it's going to be able to tow those things as long as it is under 3,500 pounds. So decently capable, not the most capable. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 that produces 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 4.9 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 18 miles per gallon in the city, 24 miles per gallon on the highway, for 20 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. If you want to take this to the next level, you might want to take a look at the Sport Prestige, because that is going to give you an LSD. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything thus far, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock if you run your finger across that little square box right there, and now it is locked. This one being the Sport Advanced, you get the digital key fob, which basically means you can move the vehicle forwards and backwards with these two buttons here, and you can also turn the exterior lights on or off by pushing on that. But anyways, going over the functions on it, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your power liftgate function, your panic function, your remote start function. And again, these two buttons are to move the vehicle forwards and backwards. If you wanted to use those two functions, first things first, you got to remote start it. So you got to lock it, press and hold on this button, she'll fire up. And then you can move the vehicle forwards and backwards with those two buttons. Anyways, let's take a look at what we got going on here in the interior of this particular Sport Advance. So This one's been spec'd with the Obsidian Black Napa leather upholstery. The Sport Advanced gives you the Napa leather upholstery, and if you don't like the Obsidian Black, there are a few other color options to choose from at no additional cost. But taking a look at our door panel, up top here, you get some leather wrapping. All of this area really is leather wrapped, some satin chrome accenting. You get a speaker right there. So the Sport Advanced gives you the Lexicon Premium audio system. It sounds really, really good. Then you get two memory seat adjustment settings, your power side view mirror controls. Pressing on that button right there is going to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. Then you have your unlock and your lock functions. You get automatic up and down windows at all four corners. That button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. It is also a child lock for your second row passengers, basically meaning that, let's say, you have the child lock on and the second row passengers try to open up their door, they're not going to be able to from the interior anyway. Nicely padded armrest. Now, one thing that's also pretty cool about the Sport Advanced is that you get the backlit trim. So this is going to basically sync to whatever color the ambient lighting is. So right now the ambient lighting is blue. You're going to get a subtle like blue accent behind the trim piece here. I think that is pretty cool. And then, yeah, moving on from there, you get a little bit of storage space, a spot you could set a water bottle, and you get a speaker down here. You also get the brushed aluminum Genesis door sill. Looks very, very nice. And then here is a look at what these front seats look like. So as standard, you get power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar. The driver gets the 2 memory seat adjustment settings. The driver also gets a massaging seat. And then as standard, the front seats are heated and ventilated. But taking a step into the interior, take a listen to what it sounds like when you close the door. And now let's fire this thing up. And that is what it sounds like being fired up from the interior's perspective. You can see it is very quiet, and that is because there's quite a bit of sound insulation. So, very, very quiet here on the interior. Now, another thing I wanted to say is that with the Sport Advanced, you get the suede headliner, adds to the sporty feel of this thing. You can see you get the ambient lighting back there in blue, some piano black trim. That button is going to turn the auto stop start system on or off. This is to brighten and or dim the gauge cluster as well as the backlit buttons. That is for your hill descent control system on or off, traction control system on or off. By pressing and holding on that is going to open and or close your power liftgate. Pulling on this right here is going to engage your parking brake. If you wanted to disengage the parking brake, push your foot against the brake, push against that, and the parking brake will disengage. You also get these sport pedals down here with the brushed aluminum and the rubber. Right now it's got a white cover covering the brushed aluminum just to make it look nice for the owner when they buy it. By the way, you also get a floor mounted accelerator. Now, coming to the bottom of the steering column, you get a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You can bring the steering wheel out, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and it also moves up and down. And then this is also included with the memory seat adjustment settings. But now, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the GV70, and you also saw the blind spot view system as well. Not only is this the turn signal control stock, it's also the high beam control stock and the headlight control stock. So all the way down is headlights in the off position. It also lets you know what you're doing over there. So come up one, that is headlights automatic. One more, that is headlights in the parking light position. And then all the way up is headlights in the always on position. So parking lights are basically like your daytime running lights. I like to leave it in automatic personally because I think the vehicle does a good job at turning the lights on and off when need be. Now zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel and it is heated. You get 2 levels of adjustability and you click that button right there to turn the heated steering wheel on or off. And just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like on the GV70. And last but not least, you also get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, downshift on the left, upshift on the right, and they are plastic. Now, going over the controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Right there, that is to speak to the vehicle. You can tell the vehicle to turn the AC system to 60 degrees. And then if you press and hold on that when you're connected to Apple CarPlay, it will pop up Siri. This is your volume control knob. Push up to volume up, push down to volume down, and then just click on it to mute the audio system. Right here, that is your phone button. That is going to pop up your phone stuff on the infotainment system. These 2 buttons here are configurable. So if you click the mode button, it's going to bring you into the mode button screen on the infotainment system. Essentially what you can do is you can select all of these different controls here, and it's going to bring you between all of these different screens when you select all of them. So basically when you click the mode button, it's going to bring you to your Bluetooth audio, phone projection, sounds of nature, USB music, all the ones that are checked, and then it's going to bring you back to the top and go through all of those again. However, with the mode button, you can select all of these features features. You can select 3 of these features. You can select as many or as little of them as you want. And the start button is a similar premise. However, the start button, you can only select 1 of these. It's a different menu of options as well. So you can take a look at all the different things that you get with the start button. It can cancel the route, bring you into the map stuff. It could be your home button for the infotainment screen. Basically, you can read through any of those things, but you can see the start button, you can only have them be 1 of them, whereas the mode button can be all, none, or as little or as few as you want. Now, on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you can see these controls right here. These are for your smart cruise control system. So this thing comes standard with the smart cruise control system, as well as the highway driving assistant. You can read what the highway driving assistant is right now, basically a semi-autonomous driving experience a little bit. And then these 2 controls here are for your 8-inch digital gauge cluster. So this part of the cluster, like from here over, that is all digital. However, you get an analog speedometer. I'll get into that more here in a second, but take a look at the windshield wiper control stock. This is for the rear wiper. Everything else moving this up and down is for your front windshield wipers. Pull back on that, and that is how you wash the windshield. Now we move into our cluster. So as mentioned, you get an 8-inch digital gauge cluster, this part right here. If you wanted this entire cluster to be digital, you might want to take a look at the Sport Prestige, because that's going to give you the 12.3-inch 3D cluster. It's pretty cool. But this, you know, this will get the job done. So again, on the left, you have your digital, or excuse me, you have your analog speedometer and your analog fuel gauge. Right now, this is what's being displayed. You get your tachometer over here, transmission status stuff. You get the ambient exterior temperature, speed limit sign. So this does have traffic sign recognition. You get your fuel range, and that is the odometer. Now again, to control what we see on that screen, you have this control here. So we're going to go all the way up to the top on this particular screen. So we got our drive information. I'm just swiping down right here. Then you get your accumulated information. You get your attention level, tire pressure stuff. You have to be driving in order to display the tire pressure stuff. Then you get your engine temperature. This is your torque split. So this is a rear wheel drive biased vehicle. So when you're driving down the highway, you're going to see that you're only going to get a couple of boxes filling up here at the rear. If you floor it, basically all of these boxes will be filled in, showing you that all 4 wheels are powering the vehicle forward. Then you have your oil temperature, the amount of torque that's being used at that current time. Then you get your turbo stuff, turbo PSI, and then all the way down you can select some contents. If I click this button, that's going to bring me into the drive information screen. That's like your driver assistance stuff. Then you get your compass. Then it brings you back into the screen we were starting off on. Now, one other thing is that with the Sport Advanced, you get the leatherette wrapped dash, so it looks very fancy. But coming over to here, as standard with the Sport Advanced, you get the 14.5-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation. And for 2025, you now get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. We'll go into the home screen. So basically on the home screen, you can see you got your date, your time, music that's playing, and subtly over here, you have your navigation stuff. Now, if I swipe over to this secondary screen, this is like your driver profile stuff. You have your home button, your menu button. Menu button will bring you into either display off, or you can reorder these icons. Then you get your time, your date, and some stuff over there. But you can read all of the different things you can read on screen right now. Phone projections for Apple CarPlay. One thing that's interesting is for 2025, it's supposed to have Apple CarPlay wirelessly, but then this says you got to plug it in. So not quite sure what the dealio is with that. But then you can read all the other things you can read on screen. You can pop up your climate control stuff on screen if you wanted to do that as well. Right now it's split screen with the navigation stuff. You can go into your seat stuff right here. Take a look at the button that you want to press in order to turn your massaging seat on or off. It's also going to pop up this screen when you do adjust which you want your pelvis to be massaged, you want your etc. to be massaged. It basically tells you that. And then one other screen I wanted to show you, the setup screen, because let's say, you know, you like, I gotta find my like sound settings or something like that. Well, rather than clicking on sound, I know that's easy because that just popped up to my head. You click that magnifying glass up top there, and you can type in sound settings, and it's going to bring you into all of the different sound settings over here. So the magnifying glass makes things very, very easy to look for something. If you can't find it here, right here, just right off the rip, you can go to the magnifying glass. That will make your search easy. Very easy to use screen. Not only is it touch screen, but you also have this control knob top here to navigate throughout that screen as well. So left is going to bring you to the left, right is going to bring you to the right. And let's say we wanted to go into like the setup screen. All you got to do is push down on that and it's going to bring you into the setup screen. And then you also get some shortcut buttons here to go backwards, bring you to the home screen, or bring you into the menu. But anyways, beneath the screen, you get the 2 HVAC vents, your push button start button. You can see the ambient lighting, or I can see the ambient lighting, maybe you can't. But as standard with this thing, you get the dual zone automatic climate control system. You also get the fingerprint authenticator. So if you put your finger right here and you're just using your key fob, it's going to bring you into your driver profile, which is going to memorize your preset radio stations, your memory seat adjustment settings. It's just a very cool little thing. You put your finger right there and it will immediately know that you are the one driving the vehicle. So that is definitely cool. But back to the climate control screen, you get your temperature control. You can see auto, off, front defroster. You get your rear defroster, sync, recirculating. Now, these are all physical. However, you get a little screen right here. So if you wanted to turn your heated seats on, you'd click that, boom, 3 levels of adjustability. Now, if you wanted to turn your ventilated seat on, you click right here, 3 levels of adjustability. And you got to close it off like that. You can also bring your air temperatures, or not air temperatures, but the airflow wherever you want it, head, mid-range, or your feet. You can adjust that as well. Then you get your fan speed here. Touchscreen, I like to leave it on 2 for right now because I don't want to be too loud. Heated seat function, or heated steering wheel function, 2 levels of adjustability. You got your shortcut buttons down here to shortcut you into your map, your nav. This is another favorites button, hazard button, radio stuff, media setup. This is another like function of this. You can see this one's filled in, this one is not filled in. It's the same premise behind that. You can select one of these things and it will be one of them, but you can only have it be one of these things. So you can read throughout all of those things. So right now I'd probably set it to be the home button, but again, only one. And I'm going to turn that setting, or that system, right back off. Then this is going to turn your parking sensors on or off. This is your drive mode selector. You have a few different drive modes. So you get your snow mode, you've got your eco mode, comfort mode, sport plus mode, and your custom mode that you can set up to your liking. You can see when you're in the sport modes, the tachometer looks a little bit more sporty. Right now I'm just going to leave it in comfort for the time being. And then this is going to pop up your 360-degree view camera system. So boom. Then you get your volume control knob, tuning control knob. I went over this stuff for your infotainment system. This is your dial for the infotainment system to control what you see up there. Your auto hold function. Auto hold is basically a function to hold you in place by the vehicle. Is going to hold you in place by itself with its braking system. Then you have your gear shift selector right here. Push B to go into park. Down here, you get 2 USB-A ports. You get a wireless charging pad as standard. This is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market. It fits in the wireless charging pad, no problem. When the wireless charging pad begins to charge your phone, that right there is going to illuminate and it's going to let you know that your phone is charging. Then you get 2 cup holders, a nicely padded armrest. When you open up the armrest, you get a 12-volt power outlet. I'd say it's probably about 6 inches deep, and it goes a little bit further this way than you would expect it to. So this would be straight down. You can see I fit about half my hand, so quite a bit of storage space actually down in that center console. And then you get a lockable lower glove box with quite a bit of storage space in the glove box. You can see there's the owner's manual and all that kind of stuff in there, and you can still fit your napkins and your straws, and it is illuminated. This is what the passenger side looks like. One thing that's pretty cool about the passenger seat is right here, you can make the seat go this way, you can recline it, then you can also move it forwards and backwards all by the push of that button there. Up top here, you get an auto-dimming rear view mirror with your universal garage door opener on the bottom. You can open up 3 different garage bays. You get a spot you could set your sunglasses. Your reading lights are LED, boom, and over there as well. This is your instant dome light on button. It's going to turn on all the interior dome lights. This, you see when that light is on, when you open up the doors, the interior lights will turn on. However, if that light is not illuminated and you open up the doors, the interior lights will not turn on. This is going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. You get your roadside assistance buttons both here and here. And as standard, you get a panoramic sunroof. While the sunroof is opening, I guess while that is opening, I'll show you the vanity mirror. You get a big vanity mirror, a vanity light, and a small, you could set any small little paper product. That is the sunroof. Can we make it go up, open up anymore? Nope. Push forward, and that is going to close. So is that. And by the way, this also does tilt, so I can push up on this and the sunroof will tilt open. And then by the way, The visors slide in and out for when the sun is in those awkward positions. Last but not least, for the driver, O-Poop handle. Front passenger also gets an O-Poop handle. And that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the front seat. So these front seats are comfortable. I would say they're on the firmer side of things, but they are also very comfortable. Now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at exactly what you get with the Sport Advanced package, going from the Sport to the Sport Advanced. And then take a look at everything that you get as standard. But basically, I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 GV70 3.5T Sport Advanced is spec'd is $67,429. Now, if this isn't enough for you, take a look at what you get with the Sport Prestige. Basically, you get the digital dash, head-up display, tri-zone climate control, carbon fiber interior trim, heated second row seats, etc. I think this one is kind of the sweet spot because you get everything that you need and more, and it's still very nice at a decently affordable price. You know, this is a very nice vehicle, and the money, definitely a lot of money, but you know, you're competing with the Germans here with the Genesis. I apologize about the all that noise. In order to close this back up, you got to pull on this and then you can push up on those seats. Now, taking a look at the rear, you get automatic up and down windows back here, and the windows go nearly all the way down. All of this leatherette wrapped, nicely padded armrest. You get that backlit trim, your unlock and your lock function, some storage space, another speaker. You also get a Genesis brushed aluminum door sill back here. This is what the rear seats look like. You get that beautiful quilted leather. Stepping into back here, you get a no-poop handle, a spot you can set your dry cleaning, and a dome light. You get the same stuff over there on that side. You get seat back pockets behind both the driver and the front passenger seat. You also get some nice ambient lighting here, 2 HVAC vents, a spot you could set your phone. And then down here, you get a household power outlet. It is a 115-volt household power outlet right there. 2 USB-A ports, and then opening this thing up, you get 2 cup holders, a nicely padded armrest, and you can also recline that seat. Remember that lever I showed you? Pull up on that lever, push back, and boom. Tons of reclinability here with the second row seats. I'm gonna go back into like a normal position, which would be about like right here. I've got actually plenty of knee and leg room. Here's another view of my knee and leg room, and when it comes to headroom, I've got quite a bit of headroom left over as well. Maybe if you were 6'3", 6'4", don't know how much headroom you'd have left over, but you know, me being 5'9", I'm comfortable sitting behind myself. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. This thing has really good getup. I know like the horsepower and torque figures don't seem like it's got like, you know, 600 pound-feet of torque and 530 horsepower, but it's got 375 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque, which is able to propel this thing from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds. That is crazy for an SUV like this, especially considering, you know, this isn't like a BMW X3M or something like that. It's just a GV70 Sport Advanced, but it's got that respectable getup. Look, I mean, it just goes. Like, it is very respectably quick. And it's just got that good low-end torque. You know, I know we can be like, oh, we can floor it all day long, and yeah, it's super fast. But really, you know, in a daily driver, it's just really nice to have that low-end torque where you barely just hit your foot on the throttle and it just goes. And it goes at a quicker rate than you would expect it to. Well, that is how this feels. And that's why cruising down the highway, you know, you put your foot into the throttle and you're like, dang, I'm actually, you know, accumulating a good bit of speed with not even having to put my foot that far into the throttle. So I think that is definitely nice. Here is another little acceleration. See, just barely getting on it just propels me further than I would, you know, expect it to. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take a right turn here, and I'm going to do a nice little acceleration, probably in sport mode, not sport plus, but sport mode. And we're going to see how this thing accelerates under full throttle conditions. So here we go, straightening out and floored. Very quick, very, very quick. And it sounds great as well. The transmission is just like boom, boom. So definitely, you know, not only is the motor good and powerful and feels good, but the transmission is also there as well when you want it to be. And you know, a good transmission can really make or break a vehicle if the transmission's bad, and the transmission feels really good in this. Now, just giving it a little bit of throttle, you know, if I wanted to pass somebody, it's just got the throttle where it doesn't have to downshift, you know what I mean? Like, that is something that I really like on a vehicle. You know, if I'm going to be daily driving a vehicle, I just want to be able to put my foot barely into the throttle and be able to pass who I need to pass with no problem. And, you know, when I put my foot to the floor, I pass somebody with negative problem. You know, it's just super easy to do. And this kind of has that, you know, for an SUV. This thing is really nice. You know, it looks really good. The whole dash layout is actually very nice. It's a good mix of touchscreen capability with the physical climate controls and the physical controls. So I think this is really, really good. I hope next year they're coming out with, I believe it's like a 20-something inch screen here, and I'm hoping that that doesn't mess up all the good stuff that it's got going here with the physical controls, with the touch controls. So I'm interested to see and get my hands on a 2026 when available. But for right now, this thing is really, really nice. Also, they are for 2026 going to be doing some styling updates on the exterior. So it's just going to be a nice refresh inside and out. So if you're not a fan of what this one looks like, well, you can wait for the 2026 model year to come out and maybe make your decision then. But for right now, I think this is very nice. I think it looks great on the exterior. It's just got that sleek, sporty, classy look to it. And on the interior, it's kind of the same thing. You know, it's got the classy look with the quilted leather, but it's also got that sporty feel as well with the paddle shifters, the carbon pattern on the aluminum trim. I think that looks really good as well. It's just, and then also with the suede headliner, I mean, that's just like, what the heck, this thing's got a suede headliner. And yeah, it does. And that also adds to the sporty aesthetic here on the interior as well. But not only do you get the sporty aesthetic, you also just get the really nice ride, the really nice you know, feel here on the interior. And we're going to go back into sport mode, and when you put it into sport mode, it firms up the suspension. So now, you know, it's riding over bumps a little bit more firm. When you go into comfort mode, you know, if I was just going to be daily driving this, you can nearly like feel the dampers just loosen back up, and then we're going over bumps nicely. Now, I would even say in comfort mode, you can kind of feel the little bumps and stuff. It's not uncomfortable, but you can feel it. You can feel that this is, you know, kind of sporty tuned with the suspension, but it's very comfortable even, you know, in comfort mode. But you still can feel that it's got, you know, that sporty DNA in it, if that makes sense. It's also well insulated from the outside world. I can't really do, you know, a 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, you know, test. I mean, I could, but the highway, it's just 95 is just packed, and it's just bumper to bumper traffic. And I don't feel like sitting in that because, you know, I can at least move here. But in daily driving situations, this thing's going to be very nice. So if you've got the money, I would say you should definitely at least put this thing on your list and compare it to some of the other rivals, BMW, Audi, Mercedes. Compare it to them, because it really is a worthy competitor to the German alternative. So, you know, it's just all dependent on what you want. You want the badge? Well, if you want the badge, well, I can't upsell you on the Genesis, because the Genesis doesn't have that Mercedes badge. It doesn't have that Audi badge, but it's got everything else other than the badge. You know what I mean? So if you're just looking for a badge, well, you know, the Genesis might not be the one. But, you know, if you're trying to do a good purchase for something that's going to give you Mercedes, Audi, BMW level quality for less money, well, this might be something that you might want to at least consider, because it drives very nice. It's very comfortable. Massaging driver seat. Actually, I'm going to put the massaging driver seat on right now. I'm going to do the whole body massage here. Let's see, turning radius. Turning radius is fantastic. Low end torque, guys, like I said, absolutely no problem. It's got fantastic low end torque. It's just a really, really nice driving vehicle. It's going to give you all the features that you really want and need on a vehicle. It's going to give you, you know, even the wants as well. I'm going to do a nice little acceleration here for you guys so you can experience it. Floored. It's got a fantastic sound to it. Like, I can hear that induction noise, and I can almost, like, I feel like I can just hear it pulling in that air and pushing it out the back. I'm a huge internal combustion engine guy. I love little stuff like that. And you know, this thing, you know, if you got a wife and a kids, well, this can be your daily, but then it's also your fun vehicle at the same time. You can go rip up the back roads a little bit with this thing. If you want something that's going to be able to push through those corners a little bit better, you might want to take a look at the Sport Prestige, because that is going to give you the electronic limited slip differential, get you around those turns and out of those turns a little bit better. But I mean, this is gonna be totally fine. You know what I mean? You don't need any more than this. Comfortable, classy, and sporty, all packaged up into one thing, and it's going to cost you less money than the German alternatives. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Those things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. That's what helps me grow. That's what helps me achieve my goals and dreams, and I just appreciate it if you would do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.